Hi Johnny, welcome to Sturton Asphalt Plant. We hope you have a happy visit today. I'd like to take a few moments just to talk through our site induction, warning you of all the hazards, safety procedures and the standards we'd like you to adopt today. Thank you. Alright, first of all, I'd like to welcome you to site and just double check that you've managed to adhere to our site rules for car parking. Have you parked your car in reverse? Have you parked the brakes and take the keys out the ignition? Yes? Very good, then we'll proceed. Everybody who comes into site needs to sign in and sign out in the weighbridge. Very important, such that you sign out in case we have a fire or an emergency procedure and we need to make sure we account for everybody on site. So please make sure you do sign out when you leave site. Welfare facilities. We are now in the welfare facilities. You're welcome to use our facilities for tea and coffee. All we ask you is if you make a mess, please clean it up for everybody else. Key site contacts. On site today, you'll be identified who is the site manager, the site assistant manager, or other key personnel who will accompany you around site. Should you get lost at any time, please come back from your guide and come back to the weighbridge where there is already somebody present in order to help you. Right, moving on to the site overview. As we go outside, we will accompany you around site. We will explain the site traffic procedures. On this site, we have a double round flow. I'm not going to go through everything on this one because it is a little bit complicated, but it'll make a lot more sense when we go outside. I will physically show you, and we'll also give you a copy so you can refer to it at your leisure as you are around site. Mobile phones. We prefer that you would use your mobile phone only in designated areas, which is the weighbridges and the offices upstairs. We do not allow phones to go out on site as you may well be distracted and come into contact, or the hazard being the moving traffic that is around site. We do this for your safety and I hope you understand the matter as we take it. Personal protective equipment. I am dressed in all orange, long sleeve, reflective. When we go on site, we'll also need gloves, helmet, glasses. Hearing protection may be needed in certain areas should we need to access them, and if we haven't got any hearing protection, we will provide them for you and inform you when you need to use them. Smoking and vaping. We do not allow smoking and vaping in any of our offices, and you will be shown outside the site where is a designated smoking or vaping point. Incidents, near misses and hazards. What we wish you to do is use a fresh set of eyes. Always handy for us because we may become complacent with what we see every day. So if you see something that you think is wrong, please challenge us. We will attempt to answer your question, and if we think it's valid or it's a great point to us, we'll fill that in a card, we'll adopt it, and we'll also publish it to other plants in order that they may learn as well from your great idea. Emergency procedures and assembly points. Should you hear a long blast of an air horn, a two-way radio shouting fire or emergency procedure, please listen to your guide and go with them to the nearest emergency point. The emergency point may well be the main gate or another designated point that your appointed contact will appoint you and show you to where to go. First aiders and first aid equipment. The first aid equipment is kept in the weighbridge and in the top office. There are numerous first aiders on site and all will be designated by wearing a green helmet. Medication and health conditions. We take your health very seriously while on site, and in order to help us in terms of first aid or any concerns we have for your health, if you could please let us know confidentially if you have any health problems or you're taking any medication that you feel we may need to know something about. At CEMEX, we have 12 safety essentials. These are principles that will guide us in terms of health and safety around site and how we operate. The first one that will then apply to you is look after yourself and look after each other. If you look after yourself, you have yourself to care for, to look, to observe, and to make sure that you're going to be safe on site. We also look after each other. So if I see you doing something wrong or inappropriate, we'll have a chat and make sure that you're being safe. Likewise, if you think I'm doing something wrong, or a colleague, or a wagon driver, who doesn't really matter who it is, please challenge me to make sure we keep everybody safe on site. The other ones on the safety essentials are get a grip. We need to wear gloves and use 3 points of contact whenever we're accessing walkways and ladders. Manual handling. We need to make sure that we wear gloves appropriate for the task. We plan, not necessarily in terms of paperwork, but we need to verbally talk about any action we're going to take, and more complex tasks we need to plan and write down what we're going to do. Driving around site, we have numerous speed limit signs that you will see and you need to adhere to. If you are unsure, please stick to the lowest possible speed limit you can obtain in your car and be vigilant where you are driving. Isolation procedures. I'm not expecting you to do any isolating today, but should you need to show any isolation procedure, I'm happy to show you where to do it and how to do it, and we'll progress from there. Confined spaces. Confined spaces will only be undertaken under a permit to work scheme, so I'm not expecting you to undertake that at all today. Housekeeping. Good housekeeping is a cornerstone of health and safety, particularly for slips, trips and falls, which typically is a third of all accidents in the workplace. So if you see something that's untidy, please let me know, and we have the opportunity then to clean it up to avoid any accident to anybody else. Personal protective equipment. Here is a little diagram that shows you what you need to wear when you go around site. I've already introduced the fact that I'm wearing high vis, I'm wearing orange, I have my safety boots on. When we go around site, we'll be wearing a helmet, eye protection, lace up boots, not rigger boots, thank you. And also if we go into ear protection zone, we need to wear some PPE that I will either give you and then make you aware when you need to wear it. Tools and equipment. We need to inspect all tools prior to using them and make sure they are suitable for the task that we're going to be undertaking. Safe systems of work. Very important that we follow an agreed and planned safe system of work in order that we can undertake a task safely. Working at height. As a visitor, I'm not expecting you to be working at height today. There are specific requirements and risk assessments, and again, safe system of work in order to make sure you are safe when working at height. And finally, incident and hazard alert. I've already asked and made point to you that you are a fresh set of eyes. Everything you see is new to you. Usually, if something looks uneasy or dangerous, it usually is. So please, use your experience and your first time view to let us know. It may well be something we've missed, and we'll be grateful for your input in terms of anything you can give us for safety information. Moving on to general rules as we go out onto site. First up is get a grip. Please wear your gloves and ensure that you're using 3 points of contact on walkways and ladders. Drugs and alcohol. I'd like to tell me now, please, if you're under the influence of drugs or alcohol at any point, you will not be allowed onto this site should it be under the influence of either one of those products. Cameras. Cameras, including the use of mobile phones, are not allowed on site unless pre-arranged with site management. Seatbelts. Seatbelts must be worn in all mobile plant and all vehicles on site. Speed limits. We have speed limit signs around site, so as you are driving, you need to adhere to any of those predetermined limits. If in doubt of the speed limit, please drive at the lowest possible speed that your vehicle allows and to be vigilant while driving. Mobile plant and vehicles. There are 2 mobile plant on site, 2 loading shovels, and they are priority on site at all times. In order to drive anywhere near them, you need to sound your horn, flash your lights, or at least gain contact through hand contact with the driver so they know where you are. In particular, when there are tipping operations on site, you cannot be anywhere within 15 metres either side of the tipping vehicle. Should that vehicle go over, The 15-metre zone is there to protect you from a rollover and a crushing incident. And for mobile plant, other pedestrians, wagon drivers, collect vehicles, it's always a good idea to make sure you have eye contact, hand-eye contact, or some form of where the other person has acknowledged your presence on site. At CEMEX, we are committed to our environmental footprint. We will and we want to be good partners with our communities and local people. So we would ask you, as you go around site, should you see any dust emissions, should you see anything you don't like and you think we can improve on, please let us know in order for us to continue to commit to our best practice for communities. If you see anything or start a new task, stop and think what you're going to do. What are you actually going to do for that task? What are the hazards? What are the likely risks involved? What you're going to do? 2 minutes spent in terms of preparation could save you from an accident at a later date. We also do step in. Step in is a principle where if we see anybody doing anything that is at all dangerous, unsafe, likely to cause an issue to themselves or others, whether it be safety, environmental or quality, we ask you to be brave enough to step in. Stop that person from undertaking that task. It may well stop that person from having an accident. So, as a recap before we go out on site, there's a lot of information there. We're going to give you a site traffic route and a pedestrian route, and you're going to be accompanied out on site. Please, at any time when you're out on site, if you're unsure of anything, we ask us to make sure that you're sure where you're going on site. We'd rather you ask 1,000 questions than make one mistake. So right, if you like, put your full PPE on, we'll get ready and we'll go out and visit site. Thank you.